Just 1 spoon a day. Sounds simple, right? But what if I told you that a spoonful of a mix used by ancient civilizations, forgotten by modern medicine, but quietly validated by today's science, might hold the key to reversing early-stage liver damage? What if one natural combination, taken once daily, could kickstart your liver's regeneration, improve your digestion, boost your immunity, and reduce inflammation, all without medication? And what if everything you've heard about liver health focused only on the symptoms, not the cause? Before we dive in, take a second to subscribe. Trust me, what you're about to learn might just change how you look at your health forever. Let's start with a question. Have you ever felt unusually tired after eating, or woken up with a bitter taste in your mouth, or persistent bloating that just didn't make sense no matter what you ate? These seemingly minor symptoms can actually be the early whispers of a liver that's begging for help. And the longer we ignore them, the louder and more dangerous they become. Now, what if I told you that your liver, the organ responsible for over 500 essential tasks in your body, including detoxifying chemicals, balancing hormones, digesting fats, and storing critical nutrients, is quietly struggling in nearly 100 million adults in the US alone? That's right, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, also known as NAFLD, is rapidly becoming the most common liver disorder in the Western world, and it can go undiagnosed for years. Why? Because your liver is a silent warrior. It doesn't scream for attention. It doesn't cause pain early on. It just slows down, loses efficiency, starts accumulating fat. Then comes inflammation, then scarring, and before you know it, your risk for cardiovascular disease, diabetes, brain fog, and even cancer begins to spike. But here's the part no one tells you. The liver is the only organ in the human body that can fully regenerate itself if you give it the right tools. So what are those tools? That's where this ancient mix comes in. Used by civilizations long before the concept of pharmaceuticals even existed, this combination of ingredients was once a staple in daily life, not because people understood enzymes or bilirubin, but because they felt the difference. They didn't need labs to know that something was working, and science today is finally catching up. Let's break it down, one element at a time, and you'll see why just 1 spoon a day could be the turning point for your liver health. First, turmeric. You've heard of it, maybe even seen it on supplement shelves, but do you really know what it does inside your body? Turmeric contains a compound called curcumin, and that compound isn't just anti-inflammatory. It goes deep into your cells, influences gene expression, and activates antioxidant pathways like NRF2, which helps your liver defend itself against toxic buildup. That means less oxidative stress, which is one of the main drivers of liver damage in the first place. Now think about this. Curcumin on its own is poorly absorbed, but when you combine it with just a pinch of black pepper, something ancient cultures discovered without even knowing the word bioavailability, its absorption can skyrocket by up to 2,000%. That's not marketing hype, that's been proven in multiple peer-reviewed studies. Next, raw honey. Not the processed kind you find in little golden bears, but real, unfiltered honey with its enzymes and phenolic compounds intact. This ingredient isn't just for sweetness. It has hepatoprotective effects, meaning it actively protects your liver cells. In small, controlled amounts, raw honey has been shown to help reduce liver enzyme levels in patients with fatty liver disease, which indicates decreased inflammation and improved liver function. Then there's lemon. You might have heard people talking about warm lemon water in the mornings. But it's not just about alkalinity. Lemon contains high levels of vitamin C, a powerful antioxidant that reduces oxidative stress on the liver. It also helps your body produce glutathione, often called the master antioxidant. Glutathione is synthesized in the liver and is absolutely critical for its detoxification processes. When your glutathione levels drop, your liver becomes sluggish and more vulnerable to damage from toxins, medications, and even processed foods. Now imagine combining all of those into one simple daily spoonful, a golden paste, warm and slightly spicy, tangy and sweet. Taken consistently, this mix doesn't just treat symptoms, it supports function at the root. It reduces inflammation, assists detoxification, balances enzymes, and creates an environment where your liver can finally breathe and rebuild. Still wondering if this could really make a difference for you? Let me tell you a quick story. John, 61 years old, had been struggling with prediabetes, high cholesterol, and mild fatty liver for over a decade. His doctor warned him that his ALT and AST enzymes, markers of liver inflammation, were creeping higher each year. But medication wasn't helping much. He stumbled across this very combination and decided to try it, not instead of his medications, but alongside. Within 8 weeks, his liver enzyme levels began to normalize. His digestion improved. The brain fog lifted. Was it magic? No, it was science, plus consistency. And that brings us to something important. The liver doesn't heal overnight. It requires time. But just like compounding damage leads to disease, compounding support can lead to healing. Every single day that you provide your liver with what it needs, nutrients, antioxidants, and rest, you take a step toward regeneration. And that's the difference between managing disease and reversing it. But we need to talk about something else. What's working against your liver every day? Fructose. Not the kind from the occasional piece of fruit, but the massive load we get from processed foods, sodas, baked goods, and hidden sugars. This kind of fructose bypasses your entire digestive system and goes straight to your liver. And when the liver is overwhelmed with fructose, it converts it to fat. That's the starting point of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. 1 soda can a day, that's enough to increase your risk. Then there's alcohol. You might think a glass of wine now and then isn't a big deal. And for most people, it isn't. But if your liver is already struggling, even moderate alcohol can become a burden. Add to that the medications, the acetaminophen, the environmental pollutants, the seed, oils, and the highly processed grains. It becomes a war your liver is fighting every single day, and most of us don't even know it. So now we return to the question, is it really possible to rebuild your liver with just 1 spoon a day? The answer depends on whether you believe in the power of your body to heal, if given the right tools. Science has shown us that early-stage fatty liver can be fully reversed. Enzyme levels can normalize, inflammation can subside, and liver tissue, yes, even damaged tissue, can regenerate. But none of that happens with pills alone. It happens with daily habits, real food, and ingredients that work with your body, not against it. And one more thing. This isn't just about your liver. When your liver starts healing, everything else follows. Your digestion improves, your skin clears, your hormones become more balanced, you sleep better, your brain fog lifts, your energy returns. Why? Because the liver doesn't just detoxify, it orchestrates your entire internal environment. So let's come back to that spoon. This ancient golden spoon, crafted with turmeric, lemon, raw honey, and a pinch of black pepper, isn't a gimmick. It's a gentle nudge toward balance, a daily reminder that your health is not something you leave in the hands of others, it's something you take into your own. If you're over 50 and your joints ache when you get out of bed, go upstairs or just try to enjoy a walk. It's not your age, and it's not your fault. The real issue? Your body's running out of a natural substance that cushions your joints like a shock absorber. And most supplements out there, glucosamine, collagen, all of it, don't fix this. But now, researchers have discovered a breakthrough that can actually restore what your joints are missing. And people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s are seeing real relief. If you're feeling stiff, sore, or weaker lately, stop guessing. Check the link in the pinned comment now. You're here, and that tells me something important. You're ready to go deeper. You're ready to understand why that golden spoon isn't just a cute morning ritual. It might be the beginning of something bigger, something lasting. Because while we've talked about how this mix can protect and rebuild the liver, we haven't yet explored how it reshapes your entire internal chemistry. And the changes go far beyond what most people expect. Let's pick up where we left off, with your liver at the center of your health universe. Now, here's something wild. Your liver processes about 1.4 liters of blood every single minute. Think about that. Every 60 seconds, this organ is scanning, filtering, adjusting, and managing the very substance that keeps you alive. If that function is even slightly impaired, everything downstream starts to slip. Hormones get imbalanced, nutrients don't get stored properly, toxins don't get cleared, and your immune system, which heavily relies on liver support, becomes less precise, slower, confused. But what happens when you do support the liver with this ancient spoonful? Let's talk about beetroot, another ingredient often added to this golden mix in its powdered form. It may sound modern, but beetroot was used medicinally in ancient Rome. Its vibrant color comes from compounds called betalains, which not only give it its reddish hue, but also serve as powerful antioxidants and anti-inflammatory agents. Modern studies show that beetroot supports the production of nitric oxide in the body, which helps dilate blood vessels and improve circulation. That means better nutrient delivery, better oxygen transport, and yes, better liver function. But here's the kicker. Beetroot also helps thin the bile your liver produces. Why does that matter? Because bile is the key to breaking down fats and eliminating toxins. Without proper bile flow, your liver becomes congested like a traffic jam that never clears. You start to feel it as bloating, fatigue, bad breath, or even right shoulder pain. Beetroot helps break up that congestion. Now combine this with the detoxifying power of lemon, the anti-inflammatory depth of turmeric, the enzyme-rich support of raw honey, and the absorption-enhancing magic of black pepper, and suddenly, you're not just supporting the liver. You're creating an internal environment where healing becomes not only possible but probable. But we're not done yet, because something fascinating starts to happen when you consistently nourish your liver with this mix. Cravings diminish. Not because you're using willpower, but because your biochemistry is shifting. You see, when the liver is sluggish, blood sugar becomes erratic. That leads to insulin resistance, which leads to constant hunger, especially for sugar and carbs. It's a vicious cycle, but by improving liver function, you help stabilize blood sugar naturally. That means fewer spikes, fewer crashes, and less dependency on food to feel normal. Let me ask you something. Have you ever eaten a full meal and still felt hungry 30 minutes later? That's not normal hunger. That's metabolic confusion. And the liver has a huge role in that. When it's overwhelmed by toxins, poor diet, or lack of nutrients, it can't manage energy efficiently. That's why a supported, well-functioning liver often leads to not just better digestion, but actual freedom from food addiction. And guess what else happens? Your skin starts to glow, your eyes get clearer, and your breath, well, it doesn't smell like morning death anymore. Why? Because your skin is your second liver. When the liver is too backed up to deal with the toxic load, it pushes the overflow out through the skin. Acne, rashes, eczema, premature aging, all can be linked to impaired liver detox pathways. That daily spoon, it helps relieve the burden. It keeps toxins moving out the right way, through bile and urine, not your pores. And speaking of toxins, let's talk about the modern toxic storm we're living in. Pesticides, plastics, heavy metals, processed food chemicals, synthetic fragrances, environmental pollutants, they're in our air, our water, even our clothes. Your liver wasn't designed for this world, but the right nutrients help it cope. Curcumin, for example, has been studied for its ability to chelate heavy metals and reduce DNA damage. Glutathione, supported by vitamin C from lemon, is your body's master detox molecule. And beetroot? It helps neutralize compounds like aflatoxins, which can severely damage liver tissue. These aren't just vague benefits. They're mechanisms, chemical realities that your body depends on. But let's come back to something even more basic. How you feel. You wake up in the morning, you feel rested, you eat, and your body knows exactly what to do with the food. No bloating, no heaviness. You have energy. Not jittery, caffeinated energy, but calm, sustainable clarity. Your mind is sharp. Your mood is stable. You're not craving sugar every 2 hours. You're not dragging through the day, wondering if something is wrong. That's what happens when your liver is in sync. And yes, all of this from just one intentional habit, a spoonful a day. It doesn't replace sleep, movement, or hydration, but it supports the organ that manages all of those systems behind the scenes. You may be wondering now, is there anyone who shouldn't take this mix? Great question. If you're on anticoagulants, turmeric can potentially increase bleeding risk. If you're diabetic and using medications to lower blood sugar, talk to your doctor, because your glucose control might actually improve, and your dose may need adjusting. Pregnant or breastfeeding? Always consult with a healthcare provider first. But for the vast majority of people, especially those over 50, this mix is not just safe, it's an investment in resilience. Because let's be honest, aging isn't just about getting older, it's about whether you're decaying or thriving, and your liver decides which direction you're heading. A healthy liver means better nutrient absorption, more stable weight, stronger immunity, even improved memory and focus. And that brings us full circle. Remember when we asked, Can 1 spoon a day really change your health? Now you know, it's not about the spoon, it's about what's in it and what it activates inside of you. Ancient wisdom meets modern science. Simple, consistent action meets radical transformation. So here's what I want you to do. Try it. 1 spoon a day. Golden mix. Empty stomach, morning or evening. Your choice. Give it a month. Watch your digestion. Notice your skin. Track your sleep, your mood, your cravings. See what happens. And if you really want to go all in, pair this habit with walking after meals, drinking more water, and cutting back on processed foods. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. The power is in your hands. Your liver is waiting. Now, imagine what else your body could do if you supported it even further. Keep this momentum going. Tap on the next video right here on your screen, because what you learn next could take your transformation to a whole new level.